We've the rising sun for the World Cup downhill finals. And with one race here in Japan remaining, the story today is just how frightening a race course can be when it's wet and encased in a deep fog, the kind that can batter body and bike. The leaders, French stars Anne-Caroline Chausson and Nicolas Vouillot, strike an instant chord of recognition. Both superb athletes who have dominated the season. Today, in the first mountain bike World Cup race ever in Asia, the field is deep with talent, but the course is the real opponent, rendered in places nearly unrideable by rain. The fireworks begin next. It's the Grundig UCI Mountain Bike World Cup from Arai City, Japan. We begin our broadcast here today with one word, not about sport, but about the weather. Hello again, everyone. I'm Peter Graves. Welcome to the World Cup Downhill Finals here in Arai City in Japan. We are in the midst of a typhoon warning here, and it may lash Asia any day now. But for the moment, at least, the rain has abated. But we've had a lot of rain in the last couple of days, and it's made the course very slick. There's one section out there that people have referred to as rather legendary. It's called the Rooty Forest, exposed roots. It's very slippery, kind of like riding on ice. As we get to the finals of the season, two riders' performances have been legendary as well. They are both French, Anne-Caroline Chausson and Nicolas Vouillot, who look to clinch their titles today. But there are some hard-charging Americans. Notable among them is Missy the Missile Giovi, who has been riding very well of late. And Missy needs a good ride here today to help improve her season. Anne-Caroline Chausson leads with 250 points, appears to be almost unstoppable. Noven Lacar, Gonzalez, and Lee Donovan. And a huge crowd has turned out here in Arai City, Japan. It's about 1 hour outside of the Olympic village of Nagano, and the fog just won't seem to go away. In the starting gate, we look at the first rider out, Noven Lacar, a fine young downhiller who has ridden for so many teams, 4 or 5 teams in her young career, and she's on course. Look for her to ride very much the way the French ride, with smoothness and almost an elegant style of riding as she weaves through this course here today, carrying her speed well throughout the turns. And today will be a day where nobody will ride especially fast because of the mud. You'll take your chances on this. And there is a look at that mud we are talking about. Lacar almost going down there. It is so thick, it looks like a chocolate milkshake. And when you get down to the bottom of the course, the riders are saturated and covered with this thick mud. Ironically, it hasn't deterred the spectators today, as we have talked about, and the Japanese have turned out in great numbers to support this historic World Cup, the first time that the UCI downhill or any UCI mountain bike event has come to Asia. And certainly with the reception that we have seen, it looks like we will be back at some point. Noven Lacar with the #1 time, 7:45.15. The crowd giving her a nice round of applause. We go already on course. Missy Giovi of the Volvo Cannondale team, living in France, in Provence for part of the year. She also lives in Durango, Colorado, but came from Vermont originally. Good jump there for Giovi, who wants to win. She wants to be atop the podium here today. This is rough going in through here, but Giovi's still on top of the bike. Remember, a year ago at the World Championship, she got all hung up on that plastic tape on the side, locked up her derailleur, and really had a hard time. Coming down to the bottom part of the course, it is Lacar with the time to beat, but Giovi getting kicked around a little bit, and she's off the time of Noven Lacar. It's going to be tough to pick anything up here on this bottom section of the course as she weaves her way down towards the finish line. Now she's over 8 minutes now. This is not going to be the kind of run that this former world champion wanted to have. Down to the finish, 8:10.10, and raises her hand in disappointment as she arrives at the finish line. Noven Lacar looking as Missy Giovi exits the finishing area. Take a look at the bike and what it costs to ride down this course. Coming up, the great one, and Caroline Chausson will be back.
On 800-811-1374.
Hi, everybody. I'm Peter Graves, and if you love mountain biking, well, then the Outdoor Life Network is the place to be. The World Championships are right around the corner, and we'll be there to bring you all the action. Beginning Friday night, September 18th, the Outdoor Life Network will present over 16 hours of coverage over the next 6 days. For the downhill to the cross-country championships, we bring you the best of the best going for gold. So join us Friday, September 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific for the World Mountain Bike Championships right here, exclusively on the Outdoor Life Network, your leader in outdoor adventure. And the beautiful scenery here around the city of Arai, Japan, about 6 hours outside of Tokyo. Well, everybody has been waiting to see Anne-Caroline Chausson wearing the leader's jersey. She has had a magnificent season on the World Cup. Everybody wonders how she can extract as much time as she does out of this course. Sometimes her lead has been nearly 30 seconds over the other competitors, but she is so smooth through here, a great deal of finesse as we watch her, and also a lot of power and fitness as well. But it is her riding style, her grace, that is really legendary through here. This is an area a lot of the riders have had difficulty maintaining their speed. We'll watch Chausson as she comes through. Pace is smooth. She's got, I think, goggles in her hand now, her right hand. She has peeled them off because the course is so muddy. Just can't see well and get a good visual lock on that course if your goggles are splattered with mud, even though you may have had 4 or 5 peel-off lenses you could work with. Over the jump, very smooth. Not pushing the pace too much. It looks great. Taking a little different line than some of the riders. They're trying to get a bit more traction up on that high side of the course. And the riders know, the spectators know, that when Chausson is on course, you are looking for brilliance. Chausson against the grass a little bit. Very quick setup through that turn. Time to beat 7:45.15. Excellent jump there. She's staying as low as she can on the bike as she gets ready to come down to the finish line. It's going to be another victory, and she's going to wrap up the World Cup. 7:17.97 for Anne-Caroline Chausson. Noven Lacar, a little reaction shot. She may be disappointed, but really, she shouldn't be, losing to such a brilliant champion as Anne-Caroline Chausson, covered with mud. The young Sun rider, current world champion. We take another look over the jump. It could have been a critical factor on this course today, but for Chausson, she takes it beautifully. She will be the winner. Lacar in second, Jorgensen in third, and Marla Streb and Lee Donovan 4 and 5. And there is the World Cup trophy, the Waterford Crystal, going to Anne-Caroline Chausson. And well, Anne-Caroline Chausson is not always very demonstrative. You know that this young rider is very thrilled by what has happened. Missy Giove up there, Lee Donovan, Noven Lacar, and there is Mercedes Gonzalez, who lives in the United States but represents Spain in this competition. 27 seconds was the margin of victory for Chausson. How good was her season? 300 points tell it. Chausson on top. Giove second, Lacar in third. We'll have dual World Series after the break.
Wouldn't you rather be watching?
Welcome back to Arai City in Japan, the dual World Series finals coming up. I'm Peter Graves. You know, this year the UCI introduced a new competition. It's the Swatch Dual World Series. The two main combatants pictured here, Dave Cullen and Brian Lopes, have been battling it out all season long. Separated by just 10 points, we caught up with them and talked with them.
Yeah, I feel really good, and my swim bike's really working well in the conditions that are given, so I'm looking forward to battling it out today.
The conditions are going to be wet, soft, but I got good power, so I think I can pull through.
I think I have my work cut out for me with today's conditions because they heavily favor Brian Lopes because he's so fast on a straightaway where I think I'm a better jumper, and the mud's taken away my jumping ability and helped his horsepower.
Course is good. It's got a lot of good technical sections. Too bad it wasn't a little bit harder packed, and we could jump a few more things, but it should be good.
And we are ready for some great Dual World Series action. A crowd of about 8,000 on hand. Brian Lopes and John Tomac are the first two out of the gate now. Under the lights, it is fantastic. Really almost a world championship style event here. Brian Lopes really getting the whole shot here. He said he wasn't a good jumper. I'll tell you, this guy's hot. John Tomac, who is a huge favorite with the crowd here, is trailing. And Brian Lopes is going to take it. Remember, it's single elimination. So Brian Lopes is going to go back up to the top. He'll advance to the final round of competition. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to be looking at another great pair, including Philip Poltz from Slovakia. He's going to be in the yellow. He goes up against Dave Cullinan out of Hollywood, California. Poltz in yellow. Coming down to the left of your screen, Dave Cullinan, who says the mud has taken away a lot of his jumping ability tonight, but he is quickly out of there. Cully with great acceleration, low center of gravity off the jumps. Watch him here. Cully nails that one. Poltz is trailing, but remember, he's only 16 years old. Amazing. Look at the crowd here. And Cully has gone down around the turn, and Poltz is going to take it, and there is Dave Cullinan right there, throwing his goggles away in disgust. He had a poor landing, came off the bike here, and that may have costed the title and the season. He's going to be very disappointed with that. A dejected Dave Cullinan, and Philip Poltz reigns supreme in that one. Well, we go now to the final round. Brian Lopes, Eric Carter, two young fellas from Southern California. Eric Carter won 2 weeks ago in Kaprun, Austria. So you got to respect him, but boy, I'll tell you, Brian Lopes is riding so well. He is so strong. He's able to get in that quick acceleration, push a big gear. Lopes just riding away to the delight of the fans down here. A lot of people thought it was going to be Lopes and Cullinan. It's Lopes and Carter in the finals. Brian Lopes has done it. He has won the title for the men, the Swatch Dual World Series. And the crowd is thrilled, and Philip Poltz coming up to offer his congratulations. Good riding for him today as well.
I'm so happy. I couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, that was my purpose for coming to this race. If I didn't have a chance to get the title, I probably wouldn't have came here, and I'm glad I had a chance to get it. I'm glad I got it in front of the whole Japanese crowd. They're great.
And a podium shot there. Brian Lopes very happy. Scott Beaumont, Eric Carter right there as well, celebrating in front of the city of Arai. And coming up, we have the women with this race remaining. Katrina Miller has been on top. She's been unstoppable this year. Sabrina Jorgensen will bring you right up to the top for our next pair. And this is going to be Katrina Miller coming down in the white, and Tsukamoto of Japan coming down, one of the local favorites who has made it into the final pairings here tonight. Katrina Miller out of Australia, a former BMX champion, many-time champion in Sydney, living in Colorado, riding for Jameis now. And she has been the dominant rider of this season. And across the finish line for Katrina Miller. And it's been a perfect season for her, undefeated. And after the race, we talked to the happy champion.
Would have liked to have maybe done 7 out of 8 because I was at 7 races out of the 8 this year, but I wasn't able to pull that off, but 6 will do.
A quick look at the podium. It's hard to tell who is happier, Tsukamoto or Katrina Miller. There is Sari Jorgensen there as well. The organizers have done a great job. On the other side of the break, we'll have the men's downhill. Sean Palmer, very much a celebrity here in Japan. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody, to the downhill finals in Arise City, Japan, about an hour away from Nagano, the home to the Winter Olympics last year. Don't forget to join us for cross-country finals from Bromont, Quebec. It's coming up next, right here in the Outdoor Life Network, 8:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific time. We take a look at this labyrinth of a course here. We've been waiting for a typhoon to come, but for some of these riders, their hurricane came right out on the course. Marcus Klausman, one of the brilliant riders on the World Cup circuit, having trouble here, going down. He goes through the fence. Let's take a look at Johan Engström, Sky International, a veteran rider until this. Engström hits the slalom pole, gets tangled up, and his chances are trailing. Now, one of the veteran riders on the World Cup circuit, and he's been a winner, David Vasquez. No seat. A most uncomfortable way to make it down this 4.8-kilometer course here in Japan. His hopes have disappeared into the mud. David Vasquez, who came here hoping for gold, now will take away only souvenirs of the mud. Here in Japan, Gerwin Peters from the Netherlands, from the B1 team, is the first rider we will see. You've seen some of the mistakes some of the riders have made. Now we look at some of the contenders who will be battling it out with Nicolas Bouliot here today, the French wonderkind. Make no mistake about it, the B1 team, which last year was called the Batavius team, the team of the great downhiller Bas de Bever, has gotten very strong in cross-country as well as downhill. They should be a factor in the World Championships. Peters is riding well, and this is an example of carrying the speed and the momentum through the debris on that track. There's the area where the Swedish rider, Johan Engström, had problems, but he's through there cleanly. A surprisingly fast run underway for Gerwin Peters of the Netherlands. The entire team went in March to the Canary Islands and had some training. I think there'll be some volunteers for that trip maybe next year. Peters coming down towards the finish line now. And 6:30.17 will be the superb time that will put him into the lead right now. And the crowd is so wonderful and so appreciative at the bottom. Michael Pascal from France already on course. The yellow number plate means that Sun is the leader in the UCI trade team standings. This is an area of the course, again, that is really a labyrinth. Requires a lot of skill, a lot of technique to get through it. Crowd cheering everybody on. Pascal, one of the new wonderkinds on the Sun team. Rides a little like Bouliot, don't you think? And he has fun with his riding as you see him bouncing around off those bumps there. Excellent turn, very quick. This is going to be a superb run. Pascal coming down to the finish line. 6:30.17, the time to beat. Can he do it? Low center of gravity here. I think he's going to do it. 6:26.34. Pascal is the new leader, unseating Gerwin Peters, who is there in the UCI hot seat. We go back to the beautiful top of the course. Nicolas Bouliot of Sun. He and Chausson have dominated this season. Bouliot and Chausson have also won the last 3 World Cup downhill events. 4.8 kilometers long, the track. So far, the typhoon that we're expecting has abated. Excellent jump by Bouliot. Coming through the forest here now. A crowd estimated at about 15,000 watching today, despite the fact that there are not so many Japanese riders among the number 1 seed in the world, but they have passed the muster of this course so well. Of course, nobody had ridden before. They've never had an event here, but it has been wonderful so far. Bouliot coming down now. Handling that berm very well. Look at the angulation of the body that he kind of angles in the turn. Trying to stay as low as he possibly can. But this is a fellow who defies all the laws of logic, really. One thinks that he may not succeed in a power course like at Sierra Nevada, Spain, and he does. Mikhail Pascal, a teammate of Vulliot, looking down there and dreaming and wondering what might be. Vulliot off the jump. This is a great run. Through the mud, Vulliot is doing things that others only dream about doing. Keeping that speed up, that momentum high. Let's see how he handles this. Taking a little bit wider line around that, one of the final tricky turns. Vulliot at 6:05 now. This looks like he's going to do it. He needs to stay upright here. No falls, no mistakes. 6:20, 6:34, the time to beat. Still smooth riding. Vulliot on the grass there a little bit more than some of the other riders. And coming down, 6:24.23. Vulliot will do it. He is the winner here in Japan. He is the winner of this World Cup season. Nicolas Vulliot, and another look at the superb riding with so much finesse of Vulliot. And down in the rocks of the finish line in front of the Japanese crowd, he wins. Vulliot, certainly the hero of the season. Pascal of France, a newcomer that is going to be strong. Gerwin Peters in third. And to the victors go the spoils. Nicolas Vulliot with the magnum of champagne down there. Look at the crowd. Unbelievable. And Vulliot is so happy. And overall standings on the Grundig circuit this year, Vulliot wins it with 440 points. Vasquez, Gracia, Pete, and Mikhail Pascal. Well, we've had a wonderful time here. Just down the road from Arai City is Nagano, host of last winter's Olympic Games. And the Japanese people have been very anxious to please. We've had a wonderful time in this enchanting land. I'm certain that the UCI will be back here once again. I'm Peter Graves saying, until we meet again, so long, everybody.